What's up, guys? It's your host here, Spartanic Arts DxD, back with another What If Naruto Was in High School DxD Part 2. So before we start the video, please like and subscribe. It helps your boy out. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll into it. So, Chapter 2. Naruto is singing Radioactive in his head. I'm waking up to ash and dust. Was it weird to have a song like this as your alarm on your phone? No, at least for Naruto it wasn't. The song was still going on in the background when Naruto switched it off. He woke up to see the time on his phone. It showed it was around 5 a.m. in the morning. He got out of his bed, did some stretches, all while contemplating what happened yesterday. Good thing that he didn't have a major hangover like yesterday, as Kurama deemed it fit to detoxify him early on. I knew that there was something fishy going on in this world, but I was never interested in it. Now, why is that trouble always seem to find me when I don't want to? I thought Naruto while whining mentally about his dilemma. So you have decided to finally confront that redhead you hang out with then? Asked Kurama telepathically. Nah, who cares? Rias may be involved in this mess, but that doesn't give me enough inclination to be involved in it too, said Naruto. What do you plan to do then? Execute Plan GTFO? Asked Kurama. Naruto responded out loud, sipping out of his cup of morning milk. What? No. Let it be known that Naruto Uzumaki ain't a scaredy ass bitch. If trouble wants to find me, then let it do so. Your call, brat, said Kurama, disconnecting the link between them. Naruto then thought about what Kurama said about Rias. He knew that something was off about Rias and her little playmates in the Occult Research Club. He can sense that whatever they were definitely not human, as judging by the weird energy they wielded. It was not something common among all humans in the world, as he'd seen so far. The little group called the little girl called Konoko Toju even had chakra, which surprised him. He had been nearly caught many times by the little minx whenever he used senjutsu near the school, when it led him to believe that she was some kind of censor. So he always taken the precaution of using senjutsu in and near his area only after he believed that she was out of range. He was now thinking about what to do, as he wanted to continue his peaceful life here, and with the way things were unfolding, it pretty much spelled disaster. Ugh, whatever. Let's just think about this later on. I should have known, even if I was drunk, to mind my own business, thought Naruto, mentally closing off the matter, and continued with his morning rituals. While the academy was not strict about his work timings, they were rather critical of his work, as they held the same amount of prestige as a nobleman's institute. So even if his work timings were flexible, Naruto had made it a point to divide it into morning and evening sessions where the plants were rather active to do his job. With all the hustle and bustle yesterday, I am very surprised that the body of that winged girl wasn't yet found, thought Naruto. I am wondering about the same thing, though I must say that I am impressed with the way you handled yourself when you were wasted, said Kurama. Ha! Told you Lee's drunken boxing technique would come in handy one day, said Naruto while smugly. Well, I would have believed you then if you weren't trying to chug down 2 barrels of sake just so you could get wasted to train and in. Then you had to go off onto the streets naked, yelling about how ramen is the food of the gods, and advertising how big your drunk is to a whole village, while still being Hokage before you started off your training, said Kurama, while being indignant at how his host had behaved in public while still being a public figure. Naruto had the decency to blush at that comment, as it has been one of his most shaded one of his final years. Yeah, let's not talk about that, shall we? You know I don't want to be reminded of episodes, Kurama, said Naruto. Kurama stayed silent, as he knew that while Naruto did act shamefully that year, it hadn't been without reason. He had lost a lot of his previous ones by then, and the alcohol eased the pain of the loss. The entire morning went through without a hitch. It was around 9 a.m. that the students started arriving at the front gates, as school started 9:30 in the morning and ends at 4:30 p.m. in the evening. After that, it was the after-school club activities, which ended at 6 in the evening, with a few exceptions to the rule. Students in Ko were rather respectful of Naruto, as he had, in one way or another, helped them out during their difficult times. He was like that one uncle that was lame but still had cool moments. Naruto was done with his job and was going to report his attendance to check encounter for staff as his wage depends on it. However, a familiar voice interrupted him. "Hey, Mr. Naruto, wait up. I need to talk to you for a second." Naruto looked back to find it was Yuto Kiba from the occult research club that called him. Naruto grinned and said, "Oh, so what does His Highness Prince Kiba want with me? This humble one shall answer whatever he may ask," said Naruto while performing a mock bow. Kiba, who frowned and looked annoyed at Naruto, proving that he didn't like the way he was addressed. "You of all people should know how much I hate that title. That's why it's so funny to see your reaction. Still, if you hate that title so much, why do you not speak against it?" asked Naruto. "Very well then. I won't call you that title anymore," said Naruto. Thank you," said Kiba, who was at the very least relieved that someone understands, but the next thing he said ruined all he believed. "So what do you mean for your gayness?" said Naruto. Kiba hit his head with his palm, muttering, "It's hopeless." "It won't be if you can't relieve my doubt and date a girl. You know that even I am starting to question your sexual orientation when you don't date someone or even look at some girl in passing. All you ever do is look at sword magazines and the males in the workout magazines. Hell, even Rias believes you look like a character straight out of from a Yoichi fiction," said Naruto while stating the facts after facts. Kiba raised his hands to counter the argument, but he knew that he had lost the battle of words when he couldn't refute his opponent's statement. He sighed and said, "Forget it. Call me whatever you want, but let me get to the point. Rhea said that she wanted to see you in the Occult Research Club this evening and was hoping if you could free up some of your schedule." "Lil Red wants to see me? Why?" asked Naruto with a curious look and further at it. "If she wanted to talk to me, then all she has to do is come see me herself. Why did she send you out?" "I don't know. All she said to me that she wanted to talk in a private club room. She would normally ask you to come herself, but she's kind of busy now, so that's why she sent me," said Kiba. "Alright, I will see what I can do. 5 sound good?" "Yeah, sure. 5 it is," said Kiba and left our school. Naruto was about to leave once again when he heard the commotion from outside the school gates, and he saw something he couldn't believe. Rias was walking with that pervert Issei, who had a confused expression. However, Naruto figured out what was going on almost instantaneously. So Rias was the one who revived him. Guess the kid has some luck in him after all. I wonder why she did it though. Last I heard, reviving the dead wasn't something possible in this world. And moving through alternate dimensions was something of an everyday deal in your world, asked Kuroma in a rhetoric question. "Well, you know the answer to that question, but it still makes me curious as to how she did it, as the kid was dead enough for me not to heal him," thought Naruto. "I believe that all will be answered this evening," said Kuroma. "Well, let's hope so," said Naruto, cutting out the link. And so the day passed quite monotonously, with Naruto doing nothing but sitting on his ass all day, either watching the clouds or moved to his secret chamber to learn and develop new sealing was an art he picked up later in his life to continue his Uzumaki legacy. He had all the free time in the world, so he thought, why not? And thus he came to learn it, love it, and his own ideas into the mix, which resulted in modification of Hirashi's formula to cross alternate universes. However, though many believe that he had mastered the art, he believes that there is no true master of the art. Sealing is complex and at the same time endless. New possibilities arise every time with a change in a few formulas. Thus, Naruto always makes it a point to study the basics of sealing whenever he can, to get an inspiration for a new seal. Other than sealing, Naruto had nothing else to do, as he couldn't find a solution to containing his chakra while training, as even the slightest amount is much larger than the amount let out by an average chunin. Thus he could be detected very easily. The only way he avoided suspicion was growing his belly of his show that he wasn't at all that fit, and to contain his chakra by placing a chakra suppressing seal on his body on top of placing a genjutsu. Though this did not help a lot, it did impede his movements a lot more. Quickly the day had passed, and Naruto made it a point to complete his work by 4:45 in the evening, as much as it was required to do other than mowing the lawns and grass. He then made his way to the club after taking a quick bath to wash off the dirt. Once he entered the building, though, he felt a prickling sensation on his body. He noticed a poster on the nearby wall. He quickly tore it off to see few writings behind it, which made no sense to Naruto. Some kind of barrier that prevents whoever it is into entering by placing them in some kind of illusion, judging by its effects, I feel, thought Naruto. Pretty complex thing they have here. Wonder how they did it, thought Naruto. Heads up, brat, said Kurama. Naruto then turned to his side to find a beautiful raven-haired female waiting on him. He quickly identified her as Akano Hajime, one of the other two great Onisamas of Ko Academy, along with Rias. No matter how many times I see it, I still find it astounding, thought Naruto as he looked towards the impossible chest of the female in question. Ara, I don't mind I don't mind here standing and having you stare at me all day, Mr. Naruto, but I believe that Rias is waiting for you, said Naruto. Naruto blushed at the comment as he remembered what he was here for. Yeah, sorry, Akano, but no matter how many times I see it, I still find it impossible you and Rias to have a chest that size. Seriously, what do you guys eat to make them so big? Oh, would you like to test them yourself, Mr. Naruto, asked Akano while giggling. No, not me, but I know a friend of mine that would kill for this information, said Naruto. What? Asked Akano. She passed away a while back, said Naruto in a calming manner. Oh, I'm sorry for bringing it up, said Akano while feeling bad. No worries, I've come to terms with it, said Naruto. Akano still felt bad and wanted to console him, but what he said next removed all her feelings and threw them into the gutters. May her flat chest a floorboard body and her anger and borderline love obsession soul rest in peace, said Naruto, to which Kurama responded, Amen to that. Akano didn't know whether to laugh at his jab or to cry for the person in question for the way she was remembered, but left the topic for another time. The pair both arrived at the club room where Konako was sitting on the couch and having candy, and were soon joined by Issei, who was led by Kiba. Issei was looking very confused and entire zero, but immediately threw away all his doubts when he heard the sound of a shower. It seems the Buchu is showering. Please wait for a while until she finishes. Here, take a seat, you two. I will prepare some refreshments, said Akano. Issei started to comment ferociously on the entire thing, what's going on, while bleeding through his nose like crazy, electing a short cry of perv from Konako. Naruto looked like the odd one out among the entire club, including Issei, as he was clueless to why he was here in the first place, but had some kind of idea what was about to happen. Rias took a shower and came into the room while wearing a bathrobe, which earned a reaction from Issei. Woohoo! This has been the best day of my life, said Issei. However, Naruto looked at Rias with a scrutinizing eye, to which Rias responded asking, What are you thinking about, buddy? In all the time I have spent with you, Rias, I know that you are unlike the way everyone portrays you, as you are a weeb, a Japophile, and a sucker for dramatic flair, but I still never knew this side of you. I'm trying to figure out whether you are a nudist or an exhibitionist, as I can't seemingly classify you in either one. Rias, who looked at him in disbelief, why would you say that? I am neither. Naruto gave her a blank stare and pointed at what Rias was wearing, and then at the shower in the club room, and said, seriously, what kind of sane person would want to open a shower in the middle of the club room and come in with nothing but a bathrobe? You know, you couldn't have been more correct in saying that. Always loved to show out her body into the entire world. She couldn't even sleep at night unless she was nude, said Akano, betraying her best friend by giving her that information. Oh, still, I didn't think that you would turn over your friends like that, Sadist-chan, and Naruto giving Akano a knowing look. Akano had the decency to blush at the comment as she found out that Naruto knew that she was a sadist at heart. Rias gave Akano an eager look, who maintained an aloof expression. Rias, seeing this, sighed and decided to clothe herself. After she was clothed, she coughed to get everyone's attention and started off. I assume you would like to know why you are here, am I correct? Both Issei and Naruto nodded at the question. Okay, but before that, I would like to ask you a question. How much do you know about the Christian, Jewish, and Islamic mythology and beliefs? Asked Rias. Issei shook his head as if to say he had no clue, but Naruto answered her and said, "Not much, just that some big guy in the clouds created the world and humans, and that there exist for some beings called angels and devils," said Naruto, remembering what he had brushed up in the library when he first came into this world. Rias looked at the pair and then said, "Well, since you know that, it will be easier to get this done. The short version of it is, let me guess, dark and foul energies from each and every one of you. I would wager $1 that every last one of you are devils from where this topic is going," said Naruto, cutting off Rias. Rias didn't respond vocally. Instead, all the club members showed off their wings to prove his point. "Well, it seems I was right on the mark," said Naruto. "Yes, you were. Now that you know what we are, we would like to know something about you," said Rias. "Who are you, Naruto Uzumaki?" Chapter 3. The question is, who are you, Naruto Uzumaki? Asked Rias with a stock face, but when Naruto understood that she was seriously evaluating his threat level of at least by the stares she was giving, "Oh, me? I am just your everyday gardener. Seriously, Red, after all these days we spent, you ask me this now? You wound me," said Naruto with a mock-hurts expression. Rias can be serious all she wants, but in front of Naruto, all sense and logic should be thrown off a bridge as the guy was unpredictable. Rias ignored his comment and said, "Yesterday I saw you fighting in a drunk supper against a fallen angel that killed Issei. I thought of helping you finish her, but you held your own against her very well, in that I thought it would be unnecessary to interfere. The fight went on until you decided to end it by killing the fallen angel. You stabbed her through the chest. No human, no matter how powerful, could kill an angel who has been blessed body that can even survive against a direct blow from a missile. But you did, and that too, with your bare hands. I had you under suspicion when we met years ago while I had just started attending Code Junior High. However, since I did not find anything from you, no magic or sacred gear, I thought it was merely my assumption and let it pass. Yesterday's passing, though, have proven me to that I was wrong to think that you were not ordinary. So tell me again, who are you, Naruto Uzumaki?" "Nice couch leather, by the way. Seems pretty expensive," said Naruto while examining the couch. Rias was getting pissed, if one went by her expression. "Don't play with me. Who are you? Why are you here? Do you know that you are currently speaking to one that's governing this town? I need to know your intentions to deem whether you are safe or dangerous. I demand an answer from you now." She then released her pressure. The rest of the clubroom, excluding the newcomers, looked grim as looked upon Rias' serious face. Naruto smiled at her, changed her facial expression to a serious one in less than a second. The beard on his face only amplified the terrifying static look he was giving while releasing his killing intent. Everyone were instantly floored with the amount of pressure he was releasing. "If I had any purpose that would have harmed you, Red, then I would have done so a long time ago. You are still weak to demand anything from me," said Naruto. He then released it further, added, "I always knew that some kind of supernatural world existed in this place, but I decided I will not be involved in it for some personal reasons. I am just a hermit trying to live an ordinary and slow life in the city. Yesterday was a mistake and an unusual experience which I would like to stay as just as it is. A passing experience," said Naruto. He sighed and said, "I only wish for things to stay as they are, Red. I ran away to stay away from crap like this yesterday night. I had no intentions of revealing more about myself than I already have. The way I behave usually is the true me, not the one yesterday. And yet you hid things from me," said Rias with a hurt expression. "And yet you have done the same," said Naruto. "That is different. I didn't want you to unnecessarily be involved in our world because of my curiosity," said Naruto, "and I didn't want to get myself involved any further than required. Excuses can be made every second, Rias. I am a man of action, and I believe that action speaks louder than words," said Naruto. "I am sorry if I hid things from you, but I thought it was for the best. And if you live your lives any other person would do from your world." "Your world? Wait, so you are not involved with supernatural?" asked Rias. "No, I am not." "Well, sort of," said Naruto. So that will conclude Chapter 2. and a little bit of chapter 3. I read a little bit into chapter 3, so hopefully you guys aren't mad about that. But again, this story is starting to pick up immensely, and it's even interesting me. Like, I couldn't be more intrigued by reading this story. I think it's phenomenal. It's called The Gardener, if anybody wants to read it on fanfiction.net. It's by Lucky Bastard 6969. So again, there are a lot more what if Naruto's to come, like a lot. Like, what if Naruto had boosted gear? You get the point. I am gonna, when I do all the parts, I'm gonna form this into a movie. But without further ado, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and without further ado, peace.